great to have you back here with us on the French Riviera for a new day at the Cannes Film Festival. The film we begin with can mark a turning point in the competition. Until now, festival goers have seen a string of very good movies, but none had quite stood out. Until now, Gomorra is a highly packed film by Matteo Garrone. The Italian director successfully retells the shocking investigation of the journalist Roberto Saviano on the Napolitan Camorra. Our reporter Hakim Zejari met with the movie crew to know more.
Welcome to Naples and the world of the Camorra. Here there is only one law, violence, only one language, guns, only one dream, to be all-powerful. The film is based on the best-selling book by Roberto Saviano, an author who needs police protection as he regularly receives death threats. The mafia in the Naples region reportedly makes 150 billion euros a year and has been involved in some 100,000 killings these last 30 years. Most of its activities are linked to drug trafficking and are concentrated in Scampia, in the northern suburbs of Naples. Here, each clan collects 500,000 euros a day, and violence is a daily reality.
I wanted to share with the viewers the tension, the atmosphere, the smells of this place. The book by Saviano has a journalistic side that I wanted to keep. I wanted to make this film like a war chronicle, and I didn't want any superfluous or artificial commentary. I didn't try and be a virtuoso. My aim was not to show that I'm a good director. The film naturally refused any music, and each time I tried to put some in, the film became more common and lost its energy. The film isn't only about Naples. I'd like it to be interpreted as a metaphor for the current state of the world. The question remains, is there any hope left for humanity?
The spirit of a female icon of French literature descended on the French Riviera this weekend in Cannes. Françoise Sagan will soon be played on the big screen by Sylvie Testud, seen in La Vie en Rose next to Marion Cotillard. The film hits theaters on June, but Sylvie Testud let us sneak a peek at a few scenes here in Cannes.
J'ai toujours vécu sans compter. L'argent, le temps, tout a filé. À part ma propre existence, je n'ai rien su garder. Même les souvenirs m'échappent. Les seuls vrais repères, ce sont mes romans.
Le prix de la critique est attribué à mademoiselle Françoise Sagan.
C'est le prix des critiques qui a tout déclenché. À partir de là, ça a été la corrida.
Qu'est-ce que je vais faire de tout cet argent?
Le plus raisonnable, ce serait de tout dépenser.
Tenez, j'ai acheté la maison.
Elle est encore plus folle que moi.
Sylvie Testud, hello, thank you very much for being with us on France 24. Isn't it intimidating to be in the skin of such a figure? Well, of course, it's an immense responsibility. But at the beginning, you're a little vain and you think, of course, I'm going to do it. I don't know how, but I'm going to do it. And then you have second thoughts and you say, how am I going to do that? But actually, I did everything that I thought I would never do in my life, amazingly enough. As an actor, you're always told you should not imitate. And then, actually, when you do Sagan, it's not impossible not to be like her, to take her attitude, her voice, to take this Saint-Tropez style. And I did really copy her. I imitated her. And I did it so many times till I had the impression she was me and it was belonging to me. Actually, it was really amazing how much you wear her. Did you ask good help from your friend Marion Cotillard for La Môme? No, actually, she had too much to do. And anyway, Piaf is a different kind of person. She was a musician and she's very loud and she shouts, so it was different. What comes out of the movie is actually the fragility of this figure, of this character. Well, how is she still a myth today, although everybody already knows this woman and her problems of failures? Well, actually, it's more the fragility of the unknown woman, not the public woman. She is known, of course, and she's a very great writer, but what remains remains from her is that she was a free thinker. She is very free, and she's ahead of everybody. If she still were alive, she would be much more modern than everybody else. And things of life don't affect her. She just gets through. And she has ferocious humor. That's what you remember of her. And she never had to choose between her intelligence or femininity, being a woman, and appetite for life and wanted to laugh. And she said in the movie once, I don't want to spare myself to remain healthy. Well, in the movie, one sees how there's a lot of parasites surrounding her. Why was she surrounded by so many people who did use her? Well, actually, she was afraid maybe of being left alone, and through the people she was feeling alive. She was feeling alive through the way people saw her, read her books, but also the people who were around her. And she needed, at the end of her life, so many people around her. She needed an assistant, a secretary, a charwoman. She couldn't live alone. If we had to remember only one sentence from her books, what would we remember? Well, it's not so much from her written works, from her books, but it's more what she said in an interview. She was very young, and she had just written Bonjour Tristesse, and she published the second or third book. And then somebody, a journalist, asked, well, it's amazing, you're an intellectual and you're going to Saint-Tropez, you're going out with friends and you're riding speedy cars. And she thinks a minute and she answers, well, actually, it's not because I'm an intellectual that I have to live like an old wrinkly. And actually, this is Françoise Sagan in a nutshell. Of course, she's an intellectual. She's a very fine spirit, and she never is vulgar, and she wants to laugh, she wants to live. Did this movie change the way you saw Françoise Sagan? Yes, of course, completely. I realized when I was preparing the movie that I had a lot of wrong ideas about her. Yeah, I thought she was a brain. Of course, when I started being aware of her, she was older. It was halfway down. She was already 50 when I saw her the first time on television, and everybody was talking with a lot of respect to her and calling her Madame Sagan, and the journalists were very respectful. So I had the feeling she was a very hard woman, and everybody was in awe in front of her. And I thought she was rigid maybe, but not at all. Well, thank you very much, Sylvie Testu, that you came to us to talk about this movie about Françoise Sagan, France 24.
It's time for us to attend a very glamorous cocktail on a yacht with James André.
First, you have to take your shoes off. Then, you have to cross the gangplank. But once on board, it's another world, far, far away from the agitation of the Croisette. Here everybody is relaxed, but it's all about business.
These parties, are they parties or are they business meetings at the end of the day?
Business meetings with alcohol, which turn into parties.
One could think this is expensive, but no.
It's the most reasonable way of coming to the market. We are looked after very well. We have a beautiful location, and the food is amazing. So this is the way to do it.
And everyone wants to come aboard. Cameras, VIPs, beautiful women, the life of a billionaire, and a bargain.
And that's all for today. Thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow on the French Riviera for another exciting day at the Cannes Film Festival. Bye-bye.